Here we go. Carlton have won the toss. They are kicking to the left. A huge game for both sides. Spider Everett hoping to fire at the Saints. Matthew Allen has been firing up Carlton all season. He goes again, winning it down towards Ratton. Can't get an effective kick away. Advantage is going to be paid here. Mitchell gets a kick for St Kilda. And it's going to come back. It looks as though Tony Brown may take it.
Yeah, Tony was tackled without having the ball, but interesting that St Kilda lined up all their midfielders at the bounce in a defensive area behind Spider Everett.
Brown will be looking for a big game today. Goes down towards half forward. Low is the target. At the back is Hall. He tries to bustle his way through. Doesn't get completely there. Mitchell taken off the ball. Pressure on the Carlton defence. The hand pass is shot out towards Murphy. Justin Murphy looks towards Brown. Gets a crawl bounce. And he cooked one.
Not too happy are the Carlton supporters with Stewie Lowe and the players, and in they come and down they go. But Steve Silvani has been pushed out to centre half back to pick up Stuart Lowe.
Fraser Brown is a tough nut, very slow to pick himself up.
Well, that will be a questionable one, I'm sure. The elbow was tucked in. It was just a fair bump, but
the elbow was in.
He copped him right at the top of the melon.
But I tell you what, it's just turned the heat up quite considerably here at Optus Oval. Brown off. And Stewie has said, we're here to play, boys. Murphy has it on half back, almost down to centre wing. Play to continue. Up towards half forward, a bit of a wrestling match, involving Hamill. He's given away the free kick. It's going to go the way of Wakefield.
And it appears as if Tim Elliott is running with Matthew Allen, which is a pretty good move because Spider Everett can be damaging up in the forward line. He's been picked up by Michael Sexton.
No score in this opening minute as Shane Wakeland's kick goes down towards centre wing and taken over the line. Dramatic start here at Optus Oval as Craig Bradley, veteran of some 307 games, been an outstanding player for the Carlton Footy Club. And Stuart Lowe, well, he's heading towards the 300. This is game number 276. Murphy, though.
Good play. Simple kick.
Summed up by Gerard Healy.
And Tony Brown is running with Brett Ratton in the middle of the ground.
And the Saints players ran from everywhere to congratulate Knowles for that smother. And let's hope that Fraser Brown gets back on the field. And looks as though he might be okay. Felled in the first minute. Oh, ball bounces through for Hall. He taps back looking for Everett, but he overruns it. Sexton for the Blues. Back to Bradley. Support from Manton. Clears the 50. Up to Murphy. The old 1-2 with Manton. And Sexton for the second time. Longer centre half forward. Whitnall, middle of the pack. Can't take the mark. A real scrap going on here. Down goes Beaumont, and the umpire comes in and is going to ball it up. Now, Sandy, I saw that game that I mentioned in 1995 when Carlton lost only 2 games for the year, and one of their losses was to St Kilda. It was a game at Waverley, and the Saints out-toughed them. They hit them hard, and it was led by a bloke named Rod Keogh that day, and I think Stewie Lowe might have done a similar role today, and if the Saints can keep up this intensity, who knows, we might get an upset.
Drew, just an update on Fraser Brown, stiff neck and a blood nose.
Stiff neck from a stiff arm.
Out of bounds from Andrew Thompson. Allen again. Gee, that left hand has been so effective. Ratton to Murphy. Copped a shove, did he?
Tim Elliott appears to be limping, and that's going to make it difficult to keep up with Matt Allen as he has to pick up the ball.
Allen's got it. And the left footer wants to go on with it. Yeah, probably should have gone back. Tried to sneak around Wakeland. He realises that.
Darryl Wakeland's running with Lance Whitnall, and it's Begley with the footy who's on Brad Pearce.
Matty Allen has not missed a game this year. Begley to bring the kick back in.
Barry Hall is lined up at centre half forward, and Spider Everett at full forward. They're the only 2 Saints forward of the centre.
Aaron Hamill went up high, and he's A little slow to pick himself up again as McKay gives the hand pass to Manton, off to Rice. This looks promising for Carlton. Spearing a pass in towards Pearce. He's going to be tucked in the pocket. Pearce onto the left boot. Hurriedly gets a kick. No one at home. Hudson. Oh, he's in trouble, Maxey. Eventually gets it out towards Elliott, and he throws it almost over the line. That's an interesting one, that one, Jared.
We saw it played against Ronnie D'Ulio here
Correct.
a week or so ago. It was at the MCG last week. We'll have another look at that, Sandy, because it looked like a replica.
Kick towards the 50. And McLaren comes in short. Begley playing just his second game. Made his debut last week. Kicked by Begley up towards midfield. No mark. Comes to the front. Nelson, who came on in the first minute. Through McKay. It goes back to McKay from Massey. McKay from centre wing, up towards half forward. Great kick to Camporelli.
Well, McKay is back to his All-Australian best form. Have to be close to leading the BNF here with Allen.
Silvani at centre half forward takes the mark.
And I think he was shepherded Stewie Lowe by the umpire.
Silvani drives it long to the goal square. Oh, almost. The hand pass comes back, hurried by Beaumont, a goal. Well, Simon Beaumont, who kicked 8 goals to half-time against Collingwood a few weeks ago. It was Hickmott with a big climb. He had the run at the pack, couldn't quite bring down the mark, but his second effort to recover and hand pass away, sensational.
Well, Simon Beaumont is one of half a dozen players who have contributed in front of the goals for the Blues on a regular basis this year.
Jared, you wanted a replay of that questionable throw. What do you think? See the open hands.
I don't think there's any question.
It was a throw, I think. However, that's all behind us. Carlton have the first goal of the match thanks to Beaumont. This is Nelson out of the square. A high ball up towards half forward. Cruel bounce for all concerned. Camporelli was in excellent form last week. Ratton, king of the engine room. Wider to Murphy. You're in trouble. You're in real trouble.
Good tackle.
Try of holding the ball, but it goes unnoticed. Kilda haven't got it past half forward as yet. They've got an opportunity now. Thompson comes streaming through, takes the hand pass, puts them inside 50. Smashing spoil was good from McKay at the back, and he gives it to Sexton. Carlton out of trouble again. Back towards Massey. The youngsters come of age in the past 4 or 5 weeks. Off he goes to Sexton. Goes with the left foot towards Whitnell. That's good. He had it spent a little too early, did Lance. He has support. And it's good. Coming from Fletcher, partly smothered, Ratton's over the top. A cry of ball from the Carlton fans. But there are 3 St Kilda players there locking it up.
Jared, just with that centre square set up with St Kilda, it's not showing a lot of positive play by not having everyone at the front to go forward when Everett gets his hand on it. It's just silly play. You're not going to win games playing like that. And
Michael Sexton, their Couchy, we haven't seen him make a dash like that from the half-back line for a couple of years.
No, he has been struggling.
Thompson, the bottom of the pack. Nelson over him, and he's found a free kick, and it's going to go the way of Andrew Thompson.
And Justin Murphy's, he can find the foot. He's already got 5 possessions.
Kick by Knowles to Lowe, gets the hoots of the Carlton crowd. Out to Young, the kick for at the back. Barry's got it. Barry Hall, just over the top of Sexton. And a chance for Festival Hall to get the Saints' first score.
Good kick, this one. He knew that Hall was over the back, and he just had enough weight on it. He's actually deceptively tall, Barry Hall. Fraser Brown back onto the ground, and his replacement of 5 minutes ago, Ben Nelson, back on the woodwork.
Hall, 48 metres out. There's away to the right, and listen to the Carlton fans behind the goals. And great to see that Fraser Brown is back in business. He was only off for about 8 minutes.
Just having a look at the general mark statistics. Barry Hall rates as number 6. He's taken 137 marks now for the year.
Burke's hand pass to Lowe. This looks dangerous. Everett in the pocket. All stemming from a kick out that went astray. I don't think helped by a runner. And so Spider Everett will have a shot in the right forward pocket. Hasn't been a prolific goal kicker this season. Going for number 20 for the year, but he has kicked 210 in his career. Starting at right, and gee, that's going way right. That's out of bounds on the full. So the Saints having a couple of opportunities in that forward line and unable to capitalise. Beaumont's going to have to send that ball back.
Sandy, interchange for St Kilda: Austin Jones, Lenny Hayes, Jason Heatley, Luke Beveridge for Carlton, Ron DeLilio, Ben Nelson, Matthew Lappin and Murray Vance.
Thank you, Couchy. There's Jason Heatley biding his time on the bench for St Kilda. It's been a troubled spot for them up forward. Big pack of players, no mark taken. Elliott's in the middle of it with his St Kilda jumper on, surrounded by the Navy Blues. We've got a bounce. 6 points the margin, favouring Carlton. Just the one goal coming from Simon Beaumont in the first 5 minutes. Thompson has it stolen by Ratton. He pushes forward, chopped off by Knowles, and eventually pushed down towards Stuart Lowe, but nipping in front and taking the mark as Hickmott came from Brown. Well, he was almost a Cadbury contender at the other end of the ground a few minutes ago with a big fly. As Drew said, his second effort was excellent, ended up resulting in a goal to Beaumont. Hickmott this time, well, that is a disappointing kick, and it should be a free kick to St Kilda for a push. And you can see Craig Bradley in the bottom of your screen there saying, kick it long, kick it here. It wasn't to be. Knowles again has a chance. Hickmott getting back on it, almost beaten. Silvani, Burke, two fine players. Camporelli over the body, but umpire Mark McKenzie comes in and decides that he'll take charge.
Bit of heat in the game. Bit going on all over the place. Oh, Nathan Burke got your number. Who was that, number 1? He wouldn't be saying that to Silvani. Lowe comes down with clean possession. Sounds like he'll be hooted every time he goes near it today. Carlton free.
Might be a bit going on in the packs there. Stewie Lowe's at the bottom of it.
Just thinking that, Jared.
Silvani takes the free into Sexton at centre half back. Starts another gallop. Comes out towards the wing. Fletcher.
Oh, why let it bounce?
Kick by Fletcher, just starting out in his league career. Up towards half forward. Hickmott again, punched away. Beaumont in front. A high ball. Whitnell works to the front. Good punch from behind. Burke gets back there. Gee, covered some ground. Tony Brown comes over the top. Hudson clears the 50. Kick by Max Hudson. Hall sets himself.
Shepherd.
And it was a Shepherd out. Hall will take the free.
Well, it's definitely a Shepherd, but it did look as if it was very close to the vicinity of the ball.
Knowles fires back the hand pass. Ryan out towards half forward. Shane Wakeland in front. The spoil was good from behind by Hamill. Wakeland again. Gets the hand pass back. Everett.
Oh, Murphy's giving it down the ground, I think. Spider was coming through like a Mack truck. He missed him, but then Murph decided, well, he had a go, I'll have a go.
And the applause from Everett for the free kick. The kick up towards the goal square. Hall can't take the mark. They crunch in there. Could have been against Hickmott. Umpire Hayden Kennedy arrives on the scene and is going to slow things down here. It's a Carlton free to Manton. He goes by hand to Silvani. Now Camporelli.
Tucked in the back pocket. Scott Camporelli. 100th game today for Camporelli. Fine achievement by the young man. Stephen Ziller's at the bottom of the pack. Out it comes towards Elliott. He looks towards Brown. High ball by Tony Brown. Fraser Brown back in the thick of things. Ratton tried to tap it down. Camporelli almost taken high. Bradley clever to Massey. Back to Bradley. Running out of room is the skipper. Eventually chips short. Going back in towards half back and finding Hickmott. He goes back to Bradley again. Jeez. They're going the long way home at the moment. They're all the way back to Glenn Manton. He pops it up for Dean Rice. Look out, Dino. In trouble as Spider Everett got him, but it did release Sexton on the outer side. Michael Sexton, a little bit of time and space to go around the wing up towards Allen, chipping in and taking a fine mark is McKay.
How was that?
He's on fire at the moment, McKay. He's doing a great job defensively, but kicks a lot of attacks.
Whitnell is again the target. Hand pass straight up in the air, and Damien Ryan pokes it over the line for a throw. Good tight start here at Optus Oval.
Des Ryan there running with Scott Camporelli.
A lot of bumps and bruises for one goal between them. Nearly 15 minutes of football. Elliott against Allen. Thompson. Andrew Thompson wrests the ball clear. Well played. That was terrific. Back to Wakeland, and the centering ball to Begley. Just behind the centre. Up to centre half forward. Hall and Sexton. Rovers wanted for the Saints. Rice, a former Saint, first back there. Back to Manton, to Sexton in a bit of space. He needed that space. His hand pass is knocked down by Knowles. Comes back to him. Lucky Michael Sexton. Whitnall! No mark. Pearce underfoot. Shovels the ball out. Burke is there. Hamill the hand pass. Whitnall on to Bradley, and the skipper will get their second.
Tough passage of play, Jared, and Andrew Thompson has come up holding his nut.
Tell you what, that grab, the attempted mark there from Big Lance, reminded me of one from Steve Silvani, which got mark of the year against Collingwood about some, I don't know, sauce, probably 25 years ago, but it was like a decade or so ago, but it would have been a ripper if it had have stuck.
That one was over Craig Starcevich.
The skipper gets his first goal, his 9th for the season. So from the middle, it's low, unable to take it out of the centre. Camporelli through heavy traffic. Gee, he did well. Murphy puts in a one-hander.
Why use two when one will do?
Well, the Blues went away from the MCG last week with a loss, but they went to Craig Bradley's testimonial, and I believe talking to people from the Navy Blue, that it was one of the best functions they've ever had. And you get the feeling, Sandy, that they've come away an inspired and pretty happy club.
Murphy from 45 metres has put it through for his first goal. 3 goals to Carlton. St Kilda just the 1 point on the board.
And I say that because they look sharp. They look as if they're running to support each other. Fellows that have been down throughout the year, like Michael Sexton, who's slowly been building. He's had 8 possessions already. He's had a great start. McKay's killing them. Murphy's still firing.
And they would have been so aware of the sluggish start last week that allowed Geelong to jump to a 5-goal lead.
And they're doing it all without a massive contribution from Matthew Allen just at this stage.
So far, the Blues have had 63 possessions to 40. Allen wins in the middle.
Slaughtered in the middle at the moment.
Silvani inside the 50. They got there quickly. Good tackle, Whitnall. And he recovered. Now to Murphy. Open goal coming up for Murphy. Well, he should have kicked it.
Great tackle. Should have been a goal. There were opportunities just to run this one up and kick it across the line. But Justin Murphy faded and went on the lone track. Didn't get the result.
19 points the margin, under 9 minutes remaining in the first quarter. No real breeze here at all, so there's no advantage to this end of the ground. Here comes Allen over the top. Waiting down in front was Wakeland. Had one attempt, then snared at the second. Shane kicks back towards centre wing. Lowe and Silvani both in the pack. McKay is there as well. Hickmott will come in from the side. Look at that determination from Adrian Hickmott. McKay removing McLaren and Hickmott to take it on centre wing. Good start by Adrian as he looks towards the 50. Allen will come in from the side. There's a big pack of players. Ratton waiting down, almost caught Fletcher unawares. He gives it to Brown. Carlton fans delighted to see him back. Lovely kick. Little left footer swinging into Scott Camporelli. Beautifully done, and it leaves him with a 45-degree angle, 50-metre kick.
Well, the vision was just superb here by Fraser Brown. To pick him out, he'd only had the ball a split second, and precise passing has set this shot. At 5 possessions already, Camporelli. And he's a deadly shot at goal. This one will test him, however.
Be nice to celebrate his 100th game with an early goal, but he's away to the left. The boy who came to Carlton from Woodville, West Torrens.
Played in the premiership in his first year.
Correct, Amundo.
Well, they've stacked it back here. Allen punches down Camporelli, looking for Silvani, chopped off by Lowe. Rice, quick hands to Bradley. Across the ground he goes to Beaumont. The gap's closed, but Beaumont marks. He's got Whitnell in short, and 20 metres in the clear, Lance Whitnell. The kick missed him and hurries out of bounds. Well, they're dominating the Blues, and 20 points to 1, and it could have been a lot better. Camporelli's kicked out of bounds. Allen's kicked out of bounds. Murphy kicked it behind. Still a chance inside the 50. Back tunnel. Wakeland back to Burke. Clears the 50. Hudgton. Jeez, he heard the pressure coming from behind. Your goal, Maxey. Back he goes. Lenny Hayes in trouble. Thompson, Burke. Couldn't get a kick away. The Blues are red hot. Beaumont, beautiful. But he should have kicked the goal again.
Impressive stuff, though, defensively in the forward line.
Yes, they're holding it in there, and they're making it terribly difficult for that St Kilda defence. Beaumont has had a couple of opportunities that really he should have taken advantage of. Maxey, perhaps a little lucky that he didn't lose it then. But look at that tackling, initially by Ratton. Fantastic to see. This is Zilla.
Got to go to the boundary.
No one down forward. Hickmott dropping back with a fly to the ball, takes an easy mark. Short to Allen. Come back onto the left foot. In fact, elects to use Murphy. Bradley, well, be careful. And he is. He finds Hickmott. Spearing in towards Beaumont. Can't take it. McKay can't get a decent run at the ball. Walton straight up and down, still in the middle of the ground. Mark taken by Lowe. Plays straight on quickly to Thompson. Thompson goes down to Spider. If he can pick it up, he's a big chance. Spider can't pick it up. Mitchell goes to ground. The Blues ask the question, and the umpire, Hayden Kennedy, comes in to take charge.
Well, I think David Park going to be just a bit disappointed in that passage of play that they overused the footy through the middle of the ground. They've got the Saints on the ropes at the moment, but they haven't been able to get a goal for about 6 or 7 minutes, despite dominating all the play.
3 goals, 3-1 behind. Allen wins, but it comes to Hayes of St Kilda. And that ball's not going too far. Another ball up.
Jared, that's one part of the play Carlton could fix up and go a bit more direct. They just need to straighten up if they're ever going to challenge the top sides. They're happy to be 5th or 6th when they're using the ball across the ground.
And they've been doing that in patches in recent times since that Essendon debacle, but just fell back into an old habit there.
Nathan Burke. Around the boundary line he goes and kicked it out on the full. And even Everett with his long reach couldn't get to that.
I was playing golf yesterday, Drew, and somebody said every shot pleases somebody, particularly when you miss. And it's a bit same in football. Every kick pleases somebody, and that one from Berkey out in the full pleased 100,000 Blues supporters.
And how'd you go? Did you please yourself or your opponent?
Opponent had a laugh all day.
Out on centre wing. Carlton red hot at the start of this game. Last 2 times they've played St Kilda, Silvani's been their leading goal kicker, and he's a full-back. 49-32 in kicks at the start of this game. Silvani kicked 3 in round 6 earlier this year, and last year in round 20 he kicked 5 against the Saints. That was the game, the famous Nicky Winmar game, which virtually spelt the end of his career at St Kilda, and now he's at the Bulldogs. Gee, it's tough in there. Carlton are tackling. They are ferocious. Weight of numbers. Phenomenal passage of play, and nobody got a kick or a hand pass. The umpire calls for it and will ball it up. The crowd over there saw something going on, and the player's not too happy.
Spider's coming off, Drew, and Heatley on.
Well, Peter Everett has taken 1 mark, had a couple of kicks. Oh, Thompson looked like a 2-handed throw to me out to Burke. Up towards 50. Silvani in front of Lowe, and the Carlton fans love that.
And Steve Silvani, whilst he's regarded as one of the greatest ever full-backs, he's been coming out to centre-half back this year and doing some pretty big jobs, particularly when Kuda Fides has moved up the ground.
Gee, it's a different Carlton this week, though. Silvani starting well, Bradley starting well, Ratton starting well. Whitnell got a hand to it. Wakeland right there with him. Pearce comes over the top of Mitchell, almost infringed. Thrown out the back door towards Hudson. He can't pick it up, and persistence and pressure applied by Dean Rice. It was too good. Throw in.
Sandy, just typical of St Kilda's play, just a little bit fumbly in this first quarter.
Spider having a spell. And we've talked about the ferociousness of Carlton. That's backed up by those tackle statistics. Mitchell having a good go today. Young, Whitnell slaps it back in towards the middle. Hamill meets Elliott head on. Mitchell goes again. No one able to get it out cleanly. Lenny Hayes was there. Nelson's claimed. Elliott at the bottom. Gee, it is tough.
And Aaron Hamill has just been ferocious at the contest, Sandy. A couple of times we've seen him split packs open, and I think that's a part of his game that if he can do that consistently, he's going to be a much more valuable forward.
On centre wing, St Kilda still looking for its first goal. Allen got a little left-hander. Nelson claimed by Elliott, and there'll be a ball up.
And Brett Ratton is just always in and under. He's already had 3 tackles, which when you compare it to other statistics doesn't appear much, but some players that go through a game and only have 1 or 2, and he's had 3 in less than a quarter.
Lapping on. Might have been Massey that came off. We'll check that with Couchy. Anyway, Lappin's come on and got a kick straight away. Wakeland is in trouble. Shane almost gone.
That's Hamill's 3rd tackle in a fantastic first quarter.
He's been on fire down there.
Chris Massey off.
Yep.
And Couchy, I'm not sure that you've seen the Saints much. We've seen them a couple of times in the last 3 weeks, but it's their defensive area that looks to have lost a lot of confidence. They were so good earlier in the year, but at the moment they just aren't gelling together.
Very fumbly, Jared. Even Peter Everett's fumbling the ball. Hutchton, all the players, not one touch, one clean touch.
When I say Hamill's had 3 tackles, St Kilda have had 5 total in the whole team.
20 points, the margin. A minute remaining.
Yet, funnily enough, the Blues haven't put them away. They're only 3-2 in front.
They could be 6 goals quite easily, couldn't they?
Allen again with that left hand, the Ratton hand pass, beautiful. Nelson should kick a goal. Maxey will watch it sail over the top, and there's number 4. Ben Nelson gets his 5th goal for the season. The boy from Sturt has got his first for the day, and now that's a substantial margin heading towards quarter time.
Well, it's a great conversion there to Ben Nelson, but the little deft handball from Brett Ratton was superb to set him up. And he doesn't often get credit for those sorts of things, Brett Ratton, but that's why he's won a couple of BNFs, because the coaching staff here see it all.
Yeah, raps for Ratton. He's had 7 possessions, and he's sent Nelson on his way.
Oh!
Allen up a mile.
That's a Cadbury almost.
Yep, definitely the hit out of the year. It comes out to Lappin, who's just off the bench, already a couple of kicks, but this one sails out of bounds.
Yeah, Steve Silvani just letting him know that you've got to do better than that. He was free, and he just blazed away. That is an awesome tap.
Maybe we can get a sponsor for the hit out of the year.
And set.
What about Stewie Lowe's neck? Bent sideways.
Gee, this is a contest, and that ball isn't going anywhere. And once again, the umpire comes in and will ball it up.
Jared, why wouldn't you throw the challenge to Peter Everett against the best ruckman at the moment, Matthew Allen? Give him a bit of confidence and let him have a go.
Yeah, it's surprising to see him on the ground with Stewie Lowe in the ruck.
Well, he's come a long way from All-Australian ruckman last year to where he is at the moment. Silvani. Back to Bradley at halfback. In short to Lappin. Just seconds remaining in the first quarter. A term dominated by the Blues. Lappin, who started the season with one of the marks of the year in round 1. What a quarter by Carlton. And had they kicked straight, this could be nearly all over already. It's 4-3 to a point.
Yeah, and I think the answer to your question there, Couchy, is that Tim Elliott has kept Matthew Allen relatively quiet. He's only had 2 possessions. But he has been dominating those centre tap-outs, and we'll have a look at the centre bounce clearances, and I think you'd find that it was the Blues dominating those.
So plenty to think about for Tim Watson as he makes his way out to Elliott, Hall, Lowe and co. Goal kickers for Carlton, all singles. Nelson, Murphy, Bradley and Beaumont. They lead 4-3 to a point. Can St Kilda come back? Spider's back. That's good news for them. But they need the first couple of goals as Bradley pokes it down towards Murphy and Hamill and co. It is the latter who gives it to Ratton, off to Fraser Brown. A high floating punt. Where's Whitnell? Not sighted there as Hudson takes the defensive mark in front of Pierce.
He's hurt.
Yes, he's not 100%, Maxie Hudson. We'll keep an eye on him. Begley has it at halfback. Still in the hands of the trainers as Begley kicks towards Hall. Did he give a nudge? It matters not. He plays on to Mitchell. This looks promising. Heatley's on the ground and he takes the mark. And he's deadly in front of goal, is Jason Heatley. 40 metres out and almost directly in front.
Better build up there for the Saints.
Yeah.
And well done to Max Hudson, who looks to have hurt him, perhaps jarred that shoulder. But Jason Heatley, he's a full forward, it seems, and nothing else but a full forward, and that's not a criticism of him, but I think he's always struggled to play in any other position, and it's interesting that he often lines up the ground or even on the bench.
Just 21 goals this season. He's hoping to kick his first and the team's first, and he has.
Well, Peter McKenna knows a bit about kicking footballs, and he reckons he's the best kick for goal in the competition, and that was perfect, wasn't it?
Yeah, he's an outstanding converter. There's no doubt about that, Sandy. But just have a look at the way they bring the ball down here. And young Begley just pumps the ball along. And that's why they've got these big blokes here, to get it down quickly. It was good support running from Mitchell, and it was a great kick.
So Jason Heatley spent the whole of the first quarter on the bench, started the second quarter, and within a couple of minutes, he gets the Saints' first goal. Burke gets boot to ball, partly smothered by his teammate Thompson. Rice, been suspended twice this year, making a return today after missing last week. Hamill has been a great play. Took the ball over the line before he kicked it.
Through the interchange for Carlton, Chris Massey, Murray Vance, Ben Nelson, Ron Dulio. For St Kilda, Tony Brown, Austin Jones, Stephen Ziller and Tim Elliott.
Carlton dominated the inside 50s in the first quarter, and both teams have gone inside once at the start of this second. Allen goes off the ground. Whitnell, the hand pass back, chopped off by Begley, the youngster. Smother, it comes back to Begley. Hamill aims at goal. There's nobody home, and he just misses. Young keeps it in for the Saints. Dashes towards the outer side. No one to kick to. He's looking for the boundary line, and that is a terrific kick. It just gets there.
Throw in on the outer side. Walton was in front. Knowles there as well. Lenny Hayes tries to go through. Brown, he's tough and he's hard. Fletcher just couldn't quite take it and is then forced to defend on Young. We've got another throw in.
Lenny Hayes is now running with Brett Ratton. He started on Tony Brown, but he's now got a new opponent.
Hall uses the right hand. Knowles waiting down. Ratton there also. And the umpire's found a free kick to come out of that, and it's going the way of Carlton to the man maybe at the bottom of the pack in Aaron Hamill. No, it's going the other way. It's going to go to St Kilda to be taken by Wakely.
He did a hamstring last week just before half-time. Didn't play the second half, so a bit surprising he's playing today.
Comes back towards centre wing. Silvani couldn't quite take the one-hander. Shot out the back door towards Rice. He finds Hickmott. He defends back in towards Bradley in the middle. Pumping through the centre. Bradley with one bounce. Look towards Whitnell on half forward. Pace may catch him out here as Hudson leads in the race. Hudson controls it this time. Had a few problems in the first quarter, but he's recovered now. Goes across the face of goal. That's okay. Finds Wakeland. Shane Wakeland in the back pocket. Goes towards Stewie Lowe. Silvani there as an effective spoiler as it sails over the back and over the boundary line.
Yeah, much better defence there, I think, from St Kilda. Max Huston, who's had a bit of the fumbles, as Couchy's pointed out, did that pretty well, and that's a couple of times now that he's repelled Carlton attacks.
Hamill was the big flyer on that occasion. Kicked in towards the middle. A Beveridge gives it away to Hayes. Lenny looks to the half-forward line, and Barry Hall smashed clear of him by Sexton. Waiting down is Ratton. It's like a Mack truck. Goes wide to the outer side and finds Fraser Brown. Cop one very early on in the game. That is okay now as Shane Wakeland smashes it forward. Silvani couldn't get an effective run through. Silvani will go again. He eludes one, then two. Gives it across to Murphy. Now they can set something out. Ratton, a worm-burning pass is a beauty to Pearce.
Well, they're the classics to Brad Pearce. He doesn't take them above his head all that often. But if you can just spear the ball in around at the knees, look at the knees, and keep the ball low, he's going to be very difficult to intercept.
Pearce, a chance for Carlton's first since quarter time. First score, in fact, since quarter time. Way to the right. Came into this game 15 goals to his name. But has had his problems throughout the season. 4-4. Plays 1 goal 1. That 1 goal coming for St Kilda from Jason Heatley early on in the second quarter.
Young gains some ground. Knowles. It's the next kick that's important for them, up towards centre wing. Darryl Wakeland pushed out, and the ball towards the boundary line, and eventually over. A bit going on just off the ball. McLaren and Murphy will have a throw in. Right underneath the commentary box here. 28-7, 4-4 to 1 goal 1. Early stages, second quarter. Everett and Allen. Whistle in the ruck contest, not necessarily a free to the ruckman. Free to the St Kilda player, I heard Hayden Kennedy say. And being held was Ben Walton to take the free. Up towards the 50. Yes, good mark. Sexton, what a game he's playing. 3 marks and 11 disposals. And he'll get another one. No, it's a throw. St Kilda's free to be taken by Mitchell right in front and about 48 metres from goal.
And Prattles is still going off.
Well, he claimed he handballed it. The umpire was actually blindsided, so I'm not sure he could have picked that. The umpire was at the right of screen, behind the action, and Bradley actually turned his back, and the hand was quicker than the eye.
Well, guessing is fraught with danger, if in fact the umpire guessed it. Well, can Mitchell get the second in a row for the Saints? He has.
So there's a pulse in this St Kilda side, and we've seen it in the first 5 minutes of the second quarter. And who knows, another goal or so, and the pressure will be back on the Blues. Let's just have another look. Well, we can't tell one way or the other from that, whether he threw it or handballed it. We'd have to see whether the fist was closed, and we certainly couldn't see that, Sandy.
No. Too tough to call. It matters not for Gavin Mitchell. Mitchell has St Kilda's second goal. He's been one of their leading lights as far as goal kick has been concerned this season, coming into the game with 30 to his name.
Sandy, St Kilda's centre square setup's a lot better now. They're prepared to have Nathan Burke at the front. Just gives them a bit more confidence.
And Spider's more than competitive in the ruck duel.
Well, he's going to be, Jared, isn't he? He's going to match up well with Allen.
Allen wins at this time with the right hand. Ratton and Burke, Hickmott and co. all there, and they've got to do it again. Line ball as Everett tried to push it wide towards Mitchell. It was Thompson who got the hand pass out. Knowles gets a kick down towards half forward, and it's chopped off by Silvani. Now, Fraser's been given the chance here to have a bit of a run. He ambles across centre wing, looks up towards Allen, who's drifted towards half forward. Whitnell is there as well. Camperelli in front with Hamill. Hamill does it beautifully back towards Fraser Brown. Fraser can put him inside 50. The lead is on, the pass is there, and the mark is dropped. He'd be disappointed with that. Scotty Camperelli in his 100th game.
Tell you what, Sandy, Lance Whitnell, his possessions are down, but what he does do is just knocks the ball out to other players in a pack situation. He probably doesn't get rewarded for it statistically, but by golly, Carlton do.
Walton gets a kick to the outer side towards Hayes, who runs out of room. And we've got a throw in. Saints have added a couple in this term. Carlton just the one behind so far. Beveridge smashed to the ground. Murphy gets through a bit of heavy traffic. They can start something here for Lappin. He looks goalwards, does Lappin, and he's missed one behind.
Well, there is the score, 4-5 to 2 goals won, but we wouldn't know it if you're at the ground, because there's a lot to be said for tin plates and nails for a scoreboard, because these modern computers often go awry. They have at the moment. Up towards centre wing, Lowe and Silvani. Bradley at the back, floats the hand pass into Lappin. He's had plenty of it since he came off the bench. McKay playing a top game. Across the ground he goes to Fletcher. Fletcher, 65 metres from goal. Beaumont got a hand to it, but pushed out and gave away the free kick. Not happy with the umpire's decision. Up short to Shane Wakeland. And away go the Saints. Ryan, kick towards centre half forward. Everett.
And it's interesting, Drew, the chemistry's changed. Allen's now following Everett.
Mitchell, a beautiful kick. Well, terrific punch away from Hall. That was by Sexton, who's playing a whale of a game. Allen goes wide. Now Fletcher. Fletcher, half-distance pass, and Fraser Brown just keeps on getting out in the clear. In he comes to Lappin.
Go.
Now Fletcher. A dive, unsuccessful, swept up by Hayes. Out of defence by Ryan.
Ryan's kick is high, Silvani underneath it. He's got Bradley screaming for it in the middle. Braddles can let go here with a bomb. He loves 3 or 4 torps a game, and there's the first one. Deep into the forward line and touched from behind.
Sandy, Scott Camperelli come off. Damien Ryan's done a great job on him.
4-6 plays 2-1.
Ben Nelson come on.
Paying the price for that drop mark down the pocket.
So it's Nelson on Couchy.
That's right, Sandy.
Thank you. Knowles takes it from half back. His kick's a little too wide on this occasion for Andrew Thompson. Dean Rice right there with him.
Just the St Kilda bench. Tony Brown, Austin Jones, Stephen Zillan, Tim Elliott.
Haven't seen Aussie yet, have we?
No, little Aussie battler's not on.
Luke Beveridge running with Fraser Brown.
Hall won it. The tackling by Carlton continues to be very good, and Joe McLaren going nowhere.
And Fraser Brown's had 6 possessions already this quarter as Beaumont comes off the ground and Massey on for the Blues.
Sexton slaps it clear, but St Kilda should be able to get away. Finishes with Burke, came from Begley, goes up towards half forward. Silvani again pokes it down for McKay. He's having a field day as the vet at the moment. Rice, Brown, it just stuck on the right hand. He's okay, Fraser, now after that early knock. Looks towards right half forward. Whitnell well spoiled, and we've got a throw in.
One bloke is doing a very good job on Matthew Young as Simon Fletcher's running with him off the half-back, because if Matthew Young gets space, he can hurt you.
There is Lance Whitnell.
Spider Everett's taken Matthew Allen now to full back.
Bradley, Brown almost flicked it out to Hickmott. Hamill does some good work and eventually gives it to Ratton, who undoes that good work with a not a good kick. Beveridge's hand pass was just as bad. That's an untidy piece of football. Back again it comes to Beveridge. They may get out of it, St Kilda, as Wakeland Shane looks towards Barry. Hall takes it 1-2 at the back. Call to play on as Barry. Ripped to the ground. A cry of ball, and he's lost it.
What a tackle by Justin Murphy.
He grabbed that jumper. Oh, yeah. Big bad bust has given away 50. Silly play. Look at this tackle. Just grabbed that and it stuck.
And I think we'll have some Kilda runner watch for the next couple of minutes just to see the short-term future for Bustling.
Murphy takes the kick. Whitnell trying to do the work from behind. Massey comes charging through. He's sandwiched somewhere in the bottom of that pack, and also there is the ball.
There was a good opportunity for another 50-metre penalty as Barry ran down the ground with the umpire. He had plenty of opportunity to give him a spray.
I thought he was going to give him another 50 there, Drew. Just the look he had on his face.
Didn't look like Baz took much notice of what the runner had to say.
No. And I reckon at that stage the spray was probably the best the umpire could have hoped for. Gee, the Saints worked it out of defence beautifully. Beveridge's kick sits up for Thompson. Rice on his hammer. Down goes Thompson. Allen up from the goal square. Gets the hand pass away. Beveridge again. Great tackle by Rice. But so good was it. There was no chance of disposal. The umpire will ball it up. Well, the Saints certainly making a game of it. The Blues are goalless in this quarter. They're 4-6, so they've kicked 3 behinds in this second quarter. Big pack near the boundary line and the ball run over. Keep your eye on Barry Hall, man who kicked 3 goals in a quarter in St Kilda's grand final loss a couple of years ago. Knocked forward, it comes to Rice. Not much room on this ground. Pretty big places, footy fields, but there's not much room here today. Lappin. And pretty well taken.
Intensity of the St Kilda pressure really has gone up a notch, and they're getting some dividends for it.
It came off Hall's head, and he'll lose it here. Sexton's away. Now, this is dangerous. Down towards the half forward. Fletcher can go over the top to Allen. He's going to go in towards Hamill and Co. in at full forward. Couldn't take it, but he's going to get the free kick. Barry Hall having a spell, and Aaron Hamill having a shot for goal.
The Carlton supporters had a fair bit to say to Barry Hall too, Sandy. They weren't going to let him get away with it.
All complimentary, I reckon, Couchy.
If you see a chance, take it. What was that old song, Couchy? Don't you ever let a chance go by.
Oh, Lord.
Hamill, 45-degree angle, 25 metres, should goal for the Blues. And he does. They get their first for the quarter. And Hamill gets his first for the game. 5-6 plays 2-1.
Well, they've had to work pretty hard for this one. That was a smart handball there from Chris Massey. He hasn't had a lot of possessions today, just the 4 handballs, but he obviously understands the game because he was pretty quick with that one. And I reckon that was a pretty stiff decision there against Wakeland.
Steadying goal for the Blues. Tim Watson looks on, but he'd be happier with the Saints' performance in this term. Allen faces Everett in midfield. It comes to Burke. His kick to the 50. Low and Silvani. Buckets. Back to Everett, who followed up from the centre bounce. Long range left footer.
Goal.
I think it's over the line.
Well, how long's it been since we've seen Spider kick a goal like that? And that is the classic Spider, St Kilda, Lowe and Everett double that has been their strength for a couple of years now. Burke out of the middle. Watch the run of Spider Everett. He just hasn't been moving through the lines of recent times. Lowe did well. He's been beaten by Silvani to date, but got in front on that occasion, and well, he did what he does very well, Spider, and converted. Going forward.
8.5 minutes left in this first half. That will certainly pump Spider and the Saints. 3-1 plays 5-6. No winner in that bounce. Burke couldn't get away, neither Ratton.
Ron Julio on and Lappin off.
St Kilda is also going to require a percentage boost if they're going to want to make the finals action. It's a disappointing percentage as Mitchell rips it out of the middle down towards right half forward. One of the clubs vying for the 8, under 100% at the moment, and that's not good. Look at that tackle. Knowles going absolutely nowhere.
Brett Radden wrapping them up once again.
Hall having a spell. Silvani contesting the ruck work, but was beaten. Brown tried to flick it out towards Bradley. Now they're away off to Murphy. Comes back inside to the 100-gamer Camporelli. Finally up towards right half forward, but the mark is taken by Mitchell.
I think the Blues have got to put some thought into the Allen Everett matchup, because since Spider's gone into the ruck, he's taken control of that duel, and he's taken Matthew Allen out of the play.
Mitchell's kick goes over centre wing. And a big pack of players there. We've got another bounce.
You're certainly right, Jared. It's taken the positive away now. It's a negative ploy.
And Spider Everett's a far better full forward than Matthew Allen is a full back.
True.
Five, 6 to 3-1. It's interesting. What would Robert Harvey be worth in goals a game? One would suggest this would be very, very tight. Murphy on half back. Somehow gets through some heavy traffic. Silvani, that was interesting to Brown. Very interesting. Dean Rice. Oh, what a throw. It's all you can do when you've only got the one hand, the other pin.
And Silvani's might have been pretty close to being a throw as well.
Actually, that was interesting from Sauce, wasn't it? But here's Burke. In towards half forward. Elliott went early. Lowe was at the back. They need another one now for St Kilda. Young couldn't take it. Knowles round the body. Back towards half forward. Heatley the target. Manton in front of him. Pops it over the top for Rice. He steadies. Goes to the outer side. Murphy is again lurking in that area. So too is Nelson. And he takes the mark. And that's
poor experience there from a youngster. He telegraphed it to everybody concerned. And there's no reason in that position to give that quick handball on, particularly when the player's so tight to the boundary and you've got no real knowledge of what's behind you.
Low from the throw-in. Silvani also. I remember watching Ben Nelson's father, Sandy, and he was as cool as a cucumber. Great half-backer.
He was a drummer, wasn't he?
Part-time drummer, and a very good player for Sturt. Same name, but that's all, Drew.
Well, the Saints have really got to cash in on the momentum they're building here.
They've got the numbers here if they can get it clear. Rice again may be the stumbling block. Nelson tries to make amends. Murphy gets a cool bounce. They've certainly come back into it, St Kilda. Ryan had it for a long time. He did get rid of it. Massey showed courage. Went in and got it. Ratton in the middle now. Bradley's loose. He's only got to get it to him. Bradley can run all the way. If it sits, he gets an awful bounce. Then he goes to ground. Hickmont's there to assist him. He almost threw that out too, but was on the umpire's blind side. Gets the kick down towards Murphy. Wakeland is there, and he takes a timely mark. Darryl Wakeland on the last line of defence.
And they're on top now, the St Kilda defence. Have done a great job to reverse the position of the first term.
Just over 5 minutes to half-time. Walton, the hand pass into Young. He's given it straight up. Oh, Hickmont to Murphy. Murphy has plenty of time, strolls to the 50 and nails it.
Well, a bad turnover in midfield there, and the St Kilda defence would be absolutely filthy on this. It was one of their own, though. And was coughed up by Matthew Young just in the middle of the ground. And all the St Kilda defenders were running forward thinking that they were into attack. So Murphy had no one between him and the goals.
Oh, Matthew Young's hand pass to set up a goal for the opposition. Everett wins in the middle. Beveridge a slight fumble, but recovery. Ozzie Jones is on, didn't get first touch, plays on. Manton there for the Blues to Rice. Wide to Silvani, just outside the 50. Sauce up to Nelson, just behind the wing. Lead from Hamill, the kick in that direction to Aaron Hamill. With him, Shane Wakeland. Crowd want a free kick, the Carlton crowd that is. Hamill knocks it on. Whitnell into the shins of Darryl Wakeland. But the umpire calls for the boundary throwing.
Tony Brown come off for Ozzie Jones to go on, Drew.
Well, was this out in the full? Didn't look like it.
So the Blues in front of their social club and into attack. They lead 42-19 after the Saints at one stage were 3-1 in this quarter. Well, now it's 3-2. Saints did kick the first two. But, oh, Matty Young, he'll get the wrath of the coach at half-time, no doubt, for that hand pass. He works to rectify it now, hooks the ball up the ground. Begley, number 22, to ground. Umpire Kennedy says, give it to me, I'll ball it up. 4 minutes to half-time, and Carlton in charge, but under pressure from the Saints coming from behind.
Everett beaten. Almost thrown out to Brown. He can't shrug the tackle. It was a beauty, but he get another opportunity. Look at that hand pass to Ratton. Back to Brown again. Together they get it down towards Whitnell at half forward. Spills free. Hamill tries to bend it back. Probably had more time than he thought in the end, and put through a behind.
Stewie Lowe off. Barry Hall back on.
Wondered why I heard that booing, Couchy.
Yeah, they don't mind giving him a post in the Carlton supporters. They're actually...
Every club's the same. Part of the game. Hall straight on to Silvani. Burke to bring it back into play. He'll go short to Ryan. Certainly not out of this game, St Kilda. But they can ill afford to let Carlton score again before half-time, and they'd love a couple themselves. Here's Hall well in front of Silvani, taking the mark, but he's almost down into the back pocket. His kick's an interesting one. Finds Young. Young goes in towards the middle. That's a good kick, and it finds Heatley on the chest. He gives it to the running Lenny Hayes. Out of the middle they go down towards Beveridge. He gets clean bowled at the back is Elliott. He too is also beaten. Then gets taken to the ground. You're just about gone. There'll be a bounce.
Sexton, what a game.
Been very good, hasn't he? Michael Sexton. 9 kicks, 4 hand passes, 3 marks. Fraser Brown's been busy. He's had 13 possessions. Hamill leaves it for Silvani. He tumbles a punt to the outer side, and Hickmott's on his way. Begley gives chase. Hickmott goes to ground, and he's ridden into the ground. He'll get a free kick for a push. Off he goes to Bradley. Perhaps a little quiet by his standards last week, Craig Bradley, but busy today. The Allen hand pass is okay to Nelson. Carlton go forward again. Nelson's kick not good. Knowles takes it on the chest. And he's got players screaming for it, including his captain. Burke from the back pocket just gets his kick in time and finds Jones, who spent considerable time on the bench. Will relish the run now. Beveridge has got a free kick, not a lot in it. Jared?
I don't think so, Sandy, but anyway. Lance Whitnell coming from the ground, replaced by Beaumont. He must get frustrated. He gets very few favours done to him by the midfield.
That's a big mark by Tim Elliott. That's got Cadbury written on it. That's a contender.
Well, Whitnell's hurt his thumb. That's why he's come off.
Elliott had a very good start to the season. There you can see Lance Whitnell on the bench. As Couchy said, got a bit of a problem with a thumb and receiving some treatment for it. Let's see what Elliott can do. Kicked just 4 goals for the season, but they need this one, and he's given it to them. And he's given them some hope.
Yeah, back to 3-goal deficit now, and it could well have been 6 or 7 had Carlton have taken full advantage of their opportunities up in that forward 50 area. But on the back of what was a questionable free kick, certainly Rice put his hands in his back, but I think that Luke Beveridge made the most of it. The Saints reply.
"13 scoring shots to 5, but just 3 straight kicks the difference. Remarkable. Everett out of the middle. Another one to be handy for the Saints. Elliott leaves it behind. Beveridge goes off the ground. Across the half-forward line, Ronnie Diulio gives chase, and Rice diving at it. Well played by Dean Rice. The hand pass away. Ratton.
Brilliant hands.
Diulio to Bradley. Bradley nearly 20 possessions in half of football. Diulio back to Bradley. Well done by Craig Bradley. Deep inside 50. Past Brown it goes. Thompson first back there. The line will do him here. Well, the crowd calling deliberate. The umpire doesn't agree.
I heard John Elliott call that one.
Craig Bradley, 11 kicks, 9 handballs. The oldest player going around in league football today.
And he's matched up today on Nathan Burke, who's down to 11 at the moment.
Andrew Thompson for the Saints. Breaks out towards centre wing. Jones is there. Ball knocked away. Anderson, Kilda free kick. Listen to the Carlton fans going crook. Quickly back to Burke. The kick up towards Aussie Jones. Forward of the wing. He centres the ball. It's a long way home. Young. Matthew Young inside 50s. Everett. He is proving a problem, Spider. After being benched in the first quarter, he's come back in the second and been winning in the middle and marking up forward.
Drew, that's what you do with good players. You throw on the challenge up against the best.
Everett.
Dead set responded in this term, Paul.
A goal already this quarter. Right on the siren. It wobbles to the line and doesn't quite get there. No score. And he knows he probably should have kicked the distance there, but the Saints trail by 18 points.
And while Spider's got his hand on his head, he'd be comfortable in the knowledge that he's played a pretty good term, and the Saints have all of a sudden found a bit, I think, Sandy and Drew.
Yep.
They go in at half-time with a far greater belief than they did at the first break this afternoon, and knowing that they've still got a number of very good players that can play much better football, but they balanced it up in the middle of the ground. Their defence, I think, got on top in that term, which perhaps is a factor of their midfield lifting as well. And they have got a very potentially prolific goal-scoring forward line with Heatley, Lowe, Spider, Everett. Aussie Jones can go down there and kick a couple of goals. And Jason Heatley, of course.
And interesting to see Tim Watson at half-time out there in the middle with the players having a chat before they're taken inside. But with Burke and Everett firing up in the middle, it certainly was a different-looking St Kilda in that second quarter. They booted 4 goals without a miss. All singles to Everett, Mitchell, Heatley and Tim Elliott. And they are back in this game, and they are also well and truly in the finals race at the moment. Carlton kicked 2 goals for in that term, but they do lead by 18 points.
Heavy knock on it.
Ooh, that could hurt. Here we go then. It could hurt the Blues. Brown as well as Scott Cambrelli. And disappointing for him, it's his 100th game. He'll be very sad to finish like that. Fraser Brown is ripped to the ground. He has the ball with him.
Yes, and he's basically got dressed and walked across with crutches.
Yeah, that's disappointing. On the bench, we just saw that Carlton bench. Simon Beaumont there as well. Hickmott unable to take it.
Got the free
Copped a bit of a nudge, yeah, and is going to take the free kick. He's at half back. Gives the hand pass away to Ronnie DiIulio. Ronnie looks towards Whitnell and he takes it in front of the eyes. Well, I think Carlton fans thought he had. Darryl Wakelin had other ideas. Good spoil by Silvani. Poking it down towards Bradley. Tries to soccer off the ground, but almost a fresh air shot. Ryan couldn't take it. McKay had a very good first quarter. The Ratton hand passes like greased lightning. Bradley, look at that. That's vintage Bradley. Sets it up for Dean Rice, and away goes Carlton. Rice is on right half forward, trying to get an open forward line. Again, he pulls it back in towards half forward. Hudson, effective spoiler. Whitnell through, but without the ball. Comes towards Brown. He's called to play on. First one way, then the other. Finishes with Murphy. He's 60 metres out from goal. Lets a long bomb go. That's poor play. No one at home, and Hudson takes it on the chest.
And once again, we see Lance Whitnell just not being able to get into the play. And I think Couchy has raised a pretty fair point about him starting off at full forward.
Walton goes to Elliott, and he's got him on centre wing.
Elliott from centre wing. What about that play by Bradley? And the thing about him is his disposals are so effective. DiIulio, Bradley doing the shepherding. Watch where this goes. To a teammate. Well, a bit wide this time. Braddles, what are you doing to me? And now Ronnie DiIulio kicks out of bounds on the full. Give a bloke a rap, they do it to you every time.
You were stiff.
Heatley, good contest. Elliott, very well done by Manton. And Silvani ripped away by Heatley, and he forces the ball up just outside the 50. Couchy on the Saints bench.
Tony Brown, Stephen Zeller, Stewie Lowe, who's had a crook back, and Luke Beveridge.
Chance here for the Saints. Elliott doing the ruck work. Silvani dishes out a hand pass. Aussie Jones turns backwards. Walton missed at an airy. Hamill the hand pass to Murphy, who didn't take possession. He's given it up though. Walton a second chance. Up to full forward.
Cadbury!
Play on, said the umpire. No mark.
Well, we'll see if Barry debates the point.
Well, he did put it on the ground like a rugby try, but he held it all the way down. You could make a case for a mark, couldn't you?
Any chance, he's saying.
Hayden Kennedy actually signalled that he used his hands. Well, that being the case, you wonder why the free kick wasn't paid, but pretty stiff.
Everett in ruck. Call. Oh, Lenny Hayes out to Thompson. Great goal. Well, the Saints will feel justified after Hall's mark wasn't paid.
Yeah, I think it's probably a fair point, Drew. The mark looked almost good enough to pay to me, but there was a nice, smart handball from Lenny and a good finish by Thompson. And you just question up the other end of the ground, the Blues just wasting another opportunity. Hurt you both ways.
.43 plays 31. This is the closest St Kilda's been for a long time, and Everett wins it out of the middle. Down towards the half-forward line. Fletcher tried to chop it off. So too did Bradley, and he still continues to work. Begley was his opponent on that occasion. Brown locks it up, and we've got a ball up. 2 straight kicks in at the Carlton bench. Couchy with Scott Camberelli.
Yes, Murray Vance, Matthew Lappin, Simon Beaumont.
Allen with the right hand going over the back. Thompson again, lurking for St Kilda. Beautiful tackle. He loses. That was Hamill who did the tackling. He's been fierce. So too Ratton. The hand pass for Rice. Now they're starting to run. Chris Massey's away. Up towards half forward. They need to reply. Burke, an effective spoiler. Pokes it down towards half forward, and that was Knowles coming towards the middle. Continues to go Joey McLaren. Now it's with Burke. Burke looks towards half forward. Silvani's waiting down in front, unable to get a run at it. Thrown to the ground was Glenn Manton, and look who's down there as well. Barry Hall, and we've got a bounce. A bounce inside 50. St Kilda threatening again. Down by just 12 points. Bradley, high kick by the skipper. Murphy's got to sit underneath it in the middle of the ground. Poked away from him and pushed towards Burke. Hand pass back inboard to Knowles. Goes from a standing start. Spider's his target.
And they pushed Aaron Hamill onto Spider Everett. That looked like a throw.
The Elliott hand passes to Jones. Jones sprays it.
And Matthew Allen has, out of the ruck contest, gone under the forward line.
And Jared, you've called it. Lance Whitnell's gone to full forward.
Another problem for the injury here. That looked like a throw, but it wasn't. It was a good handball there from Tim Elliott. Justin Murphy coming off. Beaumont back on. So 2 of the Blues' key midfielders, Camperelli and Murphy, both injured.
Well, that could cost them dearly in the second half, and they only lead at the moment by 11 points, would you believe? McKay's kick up towards centre wing. Past Beaumont it goes. Fletcher, the hand pass into Hamill, who's played a top game. He's laid 5 tackles. Kick by Hamill to Allen, who marks just in front of Everett. Allen, 70 metres from goal. Puts it up high. Nelson. Oh, gives away the free, Ben Nelson. And Darryl Wakelin will take the free kick for the Saints.
Nathan Burke's gone to defence in the back pocket. So Craig Bradley obviously with a new opponent. This time it's Andrew Thompson for the quarter.
Ryan goes in short. Oh, didn't carry. Made it very tough. Through went Burke. Bradley's got it. Spun off his kick. And Bradley in after it again. Forces the ball up. And Craig Bradley at the moment is up to 14 kicks and 9 handballs. 23 disposals. And we still have nearly 7 minutes remaining in the third quarter. 14 minutes remaining. We're at the 7-minute mark.
Just 11 points in it, Drew. Next goal so important. Burke goes against the tide. Kicks back towards the centre. Diulio doing it from behind against Mitchell. Mitchell's the first to recover, and he gives it out to Young. A high kick. Difficult one for all concerned. Silvani was interfered with severely, and he'll take a free kick. Hickmott. Back to Brown. Look out. Hall closing from the side, but Fraser gets his kick in towards Beaumont. Beaumont goes to Hamill. Hamill goes towards goal. So a great opportunity going begging again as Carlton moved to 6-8.
Sandy, Justin Murphy's got a corky.
Corky for Justin Murphy, okay. So these injury woes for both sides, in fact, starting to mount. Speaking of mounting, here's Pearce in the square. Too easy. This time it is a goal. Brad Pearce provides the answer after Andrew Thompson kicked the first goal of this third term. They've had so many opportunities down in this forward zone, Drew. At last, they're able to capitalise.
Well, Darryl Wakeland turned inboard, and he was only about 30 metres from Carlton's goal. He turned into the corridor and turned it over. That was crucial. Got to get it out of there. Back in the middle for the ruck contest between Allen and Everett. Everett has had 3 hit-outs, Allen 4. Allen 6 possessions, Everett 6 possessions. But Spider's kicked a goal. Spider wins this one to move slightly in front.
Drew, Tim Elliott come off and Stewie Lowe's back at centre forward up against Steve Silvani.
3 straight kicks the difference. And Silvani having to man some man mountains down there on the St Kilda forward line. Diulio's kick round the corner and a clever mark taken by McLaren at half-back for the Saints. They're not without a chance in this game after being scoreless in the first quarter. Silvani didn't take clean possession. A hand pass comes to Mitchell of St Kilda. Kicks back into the pack. The whistle's gone and it's going to be a Carlton free kick. I said scoreless first quarter, goalless first quarter. They did kick 1 point. Massey goes out wide to the wing and Ratton takes the mark. In he comes. Sexton, one of the games of the season for him. Allen a mark. The hand pass back. Beaumont, long way out. Wakeland gets back there. The long bombs to the forward line, not working for the Blues. Wakeland an uncontested mark.
Another opportunity goes begging, unfortunately, as Knowles goes with a long kick. Bradley! Big fly, no mark. Back to the centre of the ground. Out it comes towards Hickmott. He did try and get rid of the ball.
They're not really programmed, the Blues forwards, for the long bombs. They've maintained a leading forward for just about the entire season, and it's very rare that you see anybody just waiting back for the ball to be kicked long there.
18 points the margin. Jones, little giveaway towards McLaren. Long and low. Not low enough for Barry Hall. At the back is Glenn Manton. But it's going to come back. He's going to get a free kick.
Well, that was a late call from Hayden Kennedy.
Gee, it was a late call.
Changed his mind on that one.
Hall's certainly not late. He's playing on. Into the pocket he goes. The lead was on. And Heatley takes the mark. Now with an excellent opportunity. He's a percentage player, this boy, when it comes to kicking.
Yeah, 100% today, Sandy. One kick, one goal. Yeah. Oh, no, it was just about straight away there from Hayden Kennedy looking at that replay. Justin Murphy just cruising around the boundary line with their fitness guy.
This to make it a 12-point ball game. Heatley from 40 metres out. It's just a very, very good kick. Two goals to Jason Heatley, kicked 1 in the second term. And again, they hang on.
They're a big chance here, St Kilda. Sandy, they've got both Murphy and Camporelli injured, as we know. And they're starting to build something, the Saints. They're not playing great footy, but they're hanging in there.
That's what you want from the full forward. A fast lead, an overhead mark, straight kick. Well, Justin Murphy was running the boundary line, trying to run the corky out. He looked as though he was moving okay.
Low into the ruck, Spider to full forward.
Brown a bit of a fumble. Young for St Kilda, dives on it. He's still got it.
And this is basically the starting lineup that St Kilda had. Heatley was on the bench, so he's the only addition. Heatley's at full forward with Spider Everett both in the square. Barry Hall's out at centre half forward, and Andrew Thompson on the flank. Low into the ruck up against Allen, and that's when Carlton kicked those early goals.
Allen wins. Massey a hand pass back, a bit slick. It spills out to Jones. He goes backwards with the hand pass, but it hits the target all right. Then the hand pass from Hayes is on the half volley. He's lost it. Hickmott over the top. Hamill 50 metres out. On the left, it wobbles, it shakes, it's ugly, and it's out of bounds off the hands. On the full, says the boundary umpire, and a free kick to St Kilda from the back pocket.
Yeah, Jared Spider was just struggling with his fitness a bit. He had his hands on his head before.
Darryl Wakeland takes the free. 12 points the margin only after Carlton dominated the first term and probably should have led by 6 or 7 goals. The ball's gone out. We'll have a throw-in.
This is an important time for St Kilda. Stewie in the ruck against Matthew Allen.
10 minutes remaining in the quarter. 2 kicks in it. It's turned into a very tense, nerve-wracking contest. Brown eventually gets clear. Now Hickmott he's got, and he in turn has Rice. Whitnell.
And Matthew Allen bursting down to the goal square by himself.
Well, Lance has thought about it. Now he's got to go back and kick it.
Well, whatever bruise there is, Sandy would be behind him.
Yeah.
So the distance shouldn't be the problem.
Kicking from 55. This to steady the Carlton ship. Just going for that extra meterage. He's tugged it away to the left a little.
That's his first score today. He's their leading goal scorer with 40 for the season.
Nathan Burke to bring it back into play. Finding Lowe. Quickly gets it away towards McLaren, who pumps it up towards centre wing. Hickmott taken out by Begley. Begley is allowed to play on, but he's caught by McKay. Not before he gets a short little kick down towards right half forward. Silvani defends, gives it to DiIulio. It's an ugly punt from Ronnie too, back towards centre wing, but it's effective. It finds Fraser Brown. He goes on with it in towards Beaumont, who's almost down to the left half forward. Again, Carlton threatens to score. Century kick, Pearce, Allen from the side. Jones, Rice wearing him like a blanket. Pushed him in the back, said the umpire. Jones has got the free kick at half back.
Well, Aussie needs all the help he can get at the moment. Struggling to get hold of it. All Australian a couple of years ago. His form's gone right off. His kick up towards centre wing. That's a beautiful kick. Barry Hall a mile in front of Silvani. The hand pass back to Ryan. A blind hand pass which missed the target. And what target was there? A blind target. And the kick towards the boundary line. Massey centres the ball. Chance for the Blues to settle. Hickmott to McKay. Back to Hickmott. Oh, just gets past the tackle to McKay. It's fiddly football. Kick the ball, son. Yeah. McKay does to half forward. Whitnell. Good mark. See, that wasn't hard. 60 metres out. Well out from goal. Low punches from behind. Straight down to the front. Hamill. Oh, it sits on the point. Yeah. But the goal scored by Fletcher. Aaron Hamill's kicked 1, 2, and a couple out of bounds, and he couldn't get that through, but fortunately there was a teammate there to mop up.
Yeah, it was a great kick just into that forward line as Pearce is removed from the ground and lapping back on. That was the short chip kick. Just waited enough. And Simon Fletcher was very pleased with that. Lapping on for Pearce.
We're back to a 19-point ball game. Allen, gee, he floats, doesn't he? McKay gets caught. Well tackled. That was Thompson who did some fierce tackling work on him. And we'll have a ball up just out of the middle.
Sandy, I think that Matthew Allen is leaping at the centre bounce like few others, but Simon Madden is one of the few that used to be able to get up that high.
Yep. Looks very, very graceful as he floats at the same time, but they don't win it out this time. It appeared to be a throw. Play goes on. If the bounce is okay, it'll be right for Rice. Dean Rice to Brown, back to Rice. Well, he tried to be a little too cute, perhaps. Beaumont might get them out of it. He goes back to Brown. Gee, they fiddle about with it. Ratton and eventually Lappin taken over the line. Probably 6 or 7 possessions there, and it's gone 15 metres at best. Here's Lowe. As we just have a look at that in replay, Lenny Hayes couldn't get clear. Diulio a little too slow, but he's going to get out of it with a free kick.
Well, Carlton's handball stats are just unbelievably high. 136 kicks to 123 handballs.
Gee. That's a beautiful kick. That's better.
Turn around, you'll see Fraser Brown in the square by himself. Most sides aim for 2 to 1, Sandy.
Yep.
2 kicks to 1 handball.
So what is it almost at the minute? 1 for 1.
Well, it's basically 1 apiece.
Yeah.
St Kilda is 122 kicks to 60 to give you some sort of guide.
Big moment for young Chris Massey. This would give Carlton the breathing space they so desperately require, and that's a poor kick. Diulio off, paying for his sins.
McLaren off, Zilla on for his first run.
Well, for the Blues, it's 262 possessions for 8 goals. You've never seen such a waste in all your life. Hudgton. Oops. Young. I don't think Young wanted it.
And it's gone the barest of 10 metres.
Yeah. Now across
This
the
is
ground. This
interesting.
is dangerous. Oh, Zilla. Away to Burke. Straight up the corridor, the skipper. Hall slips through his fingers. Silvani at the back recovering to Murphy. His hand pass backwards to Bradley. Puts him under pressure. Well smothered by Lowe. It comes to Rice. Good tackle by Ryan. The Saints are there. Actually, they ran into each other. Lowe cleaned up one of his teammates. Comes to Knowles. A high ball. Punched down to the front by Heatley. Zilla followed up. Still with Stephen Zilla. It's flipped out. No teammates there. And Sexton goes with the hand pass to the boundary line and wins a boundary throw in. And look at Jason Heatley.
Well, he had a fair point too. He was slung to the ground by Glenn Manton, out of the contest, and the free kick was pretty well there.
20 points the margin, and the Saints in front. Hall tries to take, and the Saints behind by the 20. Hall trying to take clean possession, and the umpire comes in. There is no breathing space. Packs are developing, and every time the umpire is prizing about half a dozen players apart with a crowbar. And it's 58 to 38. By this stage of a lot of games, the score would be about 120 to 90.
And the problem for St Kilda is they've scored only 6 goals in almost 3/4 of footy, and they're down by at least 3. It'll be a big ask in the final quarter. Massey goes to the outer side. Young in front.
Well, I think the key, Sandy, is how long the Blues midfield can continue to dominate. Because if they break, then they're going to be exposed to defence.
Here's Begley breaking here for St Kilda. Low the target. The big pack swamps him. Oh, Heatley may get an opportunity. Heatley! Oh, tried to sucker off the ground. He had all the time in the world. And went to the left and one behind. Well, maybe not all the time in the world. That's a bit severe. Ricocheted off his knee. Then he had another go.
Well,
And it was gone.
He's had 3 kicks for 2 goals won. His 2 goals were from about 50, and his point was from 1 metre.
Bradley. Pinpoint accuracy to Glenn Manton, who heads to the outer side. Spider will just poke it down in front. I think he was hoping Waitland would pick that up, but it's young Chris Massey who does. Off he goes to Sexton. They can set something up here. In towards the middle. Fraser Brown, they need someone to break. Nelson went one way, Whitnell the other. Whitnell wants to go on with it. First one way, then the other. It's a long kick. It's a poor kick.
But he looks better at full forward, Sandy, because he can get himself one out, as does Lance Whitnell. Hasn't converted well, as we've seen, but he is getting the footy better.
Begley thought about Walton, and that's a nightmare.
Yeah, Jared, he's better on the long lead.
Yeah, we see him so many times just backing into packs, which he does so courageously, but
Saints fans won't want to see a replay of that.
well, that's just the inexperience for a young player, Sandy.
Had a couple of options coming wide, but hindsight is a marvellous thing. Murphy may make him pay. Well, he too is away to the left. So if Carlton lose today, they can only blame themselves. The opportunities in front of goal have certainly been there, and they haven't been able to capitalise on them.
Well, behinds cost them the game last week against Geelong.
Yep.
And it could be the second week in a row. The Saints could nearly get up and pinch this. Young. Kick by Young up towards centre wing. Beveridge and Rice. It sits all right for Thompson. Kick by Thompson into open space. Heatley at full tilt.
Oh, rotten bounce.
Yeah, shocker. Comes to McKay. He clears from the defensive 50 back to the wing. Wakeland crashes into Lappin. It comes back to Wakeland. Kick by Shane Wakeland down the line. And McKay gets
today, hasn't he, McKay?
Yep, sure has. That's now 3 marks and 16 possessions to Andrew McKay. Murphy. His kick towards half forward. Allen and Everett. Hodgson in front did pretty well and gets it to the line. 2 1/4 minutes to 3/4 time. And at quarter time, the Blues led by 26 points, 4-3 to a point. And the handballs for the match, Carlton have more than double St Kilda. And you'd say, well, OK, what's happened as a result of all of that? They've kicked 8 measly goals.
In the words of the late Julius Sumner Miller, why is it so?
Barry Hall off, Tim Elliott on.
And just looking at other stats, across the half-back line, I think that's where the Blues have been dominant, the full-back line in particular.
Oh, sorry, Jared. Sensational play by Allen. And it was Brown who chipped it in towards half forward to the running Chris Massey. Another opportunity for Carlton as Massey pokes them inside 50 and Fletcher will have a shot at goal. Whitnell is saying, there they are. There are the big sticks behind me. You go for it. Simon Fletcher kicked one earlier in the term when he was 0.5 of a metre out from goal. This time he's almost 55 metres out. Gee, that's a good kick. That is a great kick. The youngster has settled him.
Yes, Simon Fletcher. And I saw Steve Silvani on television a couple of weeks ago and he was talking about him, Fletch.
Yep.
And they said, what's his name? He had no idea. He had no idea.
Oh, well, these things happen when you get old, Drew, as you know, you start losing your memory.
Start to forget who's in front.
But the good thing about it is he does look like a fair player, Simon Fletcher, and Chris Massey also showing the goods today.
2 goals to Simon Fletcher. That has again made the St Kilda equation very difficult indeed. Everett couldn't take it out of the middle. There was Fletcher again. Look at Ratton. Gee, is he a go in that engine room. Hickmott goes wider to Beaumont. He'll come back onto the left foot, will he? Could have gone on with the job, but now he'll swing back. He's got to realise there's very little time left. Spears a pass in towards right half forward. Massey again. Done all right, young Chris Massey. Centering again. As soon as you give him a wrap. It was an awful kick. But inexperience.
Whitnell one out in the square. I mean, the percentages of the kick it to him, he's going to have just as big a chance of taking it.
Gee, you could view that both ways.
Sexton has been pinged for holding the ball. That looked pretty tough. Mitchell, a chance maybe for St Kilda to reply. Elliott's claiming it, but it'll go the other way.
Well, it was a great mark, but more importantly, it was a cunning shepherd from Steve Silvani.
Here's Murphy, tucks it under his arm and he's away. Carlton come towards the half-forward line. Nelson comes streaming out. No one on the mark, so on he can go. Now he's got the idea. Whitnell long. He uses the body at his big lance. Going to be tucked on a tight angle if he can keep it in play. He can't. We've got a throw in. But we've only got seconds remaining.
What about the lead out towards the pocket? You know, if he wins the ball from there, he can't kick a goal.
Yeah, it's low percentage for sure out there, Drew.
Wakeland, Hamill. In fact, both Wakeland boys were there. This could be one of the last kicks of the quarter. In fact, it is. So there will be no addition to the score as Hodgson sees the safety of the line. Well, St Kilda challenged early in that quarter again. Goals from Thompson and from Heatley. But Carlton had the answer. 2 goals from Simon Fletcher, 1 from Brad Pearce. And an 18-point margin at half-time has now gone out to a 27-point margin at three-quarter time.
But the majority of scoring has been at the end, of which Carlton St Kilda will be kicking in this final term. So the Saints certainly not out of that, and Tim Watson will be pretty positive, you would think, at three-quarter time, knowing that that's probably the only way to be, because there's everything's on the board for the Saints in the next 30 minutes.
Gee, some big names coming out there with David Parkin, Greg Williams, Steve Kernahan. The margin, 27 points. So, final quarter here at Optus Oval. Maybe the final chance for St Kilda to steal a bit of finals action. Allen and Everett both go at it. Neither's a decisive winner. Everett goes at a second attempt. Pushed wide. Fletcher taken out of by Zilla. The door opens for Murphy. Penetrating hand pass towards Ratton. Look at him go. Oh, and his second effort to take it away from Young was just fantastic. Finishes with Brown. Interesting hand pass. Put his teammate under the pump. The McKay hand pass is better. Brown kicks in towards the forward line. Whitnell shovels it over the top. Massey a left foot snap. What a start by Carlton. What a start to this final quarter, and some fantastic pieces of individual play, Jared, as that ball was surged down from the middle.
Well, it's just great running by, I think it was Chris Massey that gave that initial handball. You see him running there at the top of the screen. There he keeps going. Now watch Lance Whitnell, flips it over the top, and it was Massey that got the first handball and the final kick in this most important passage of play for the Blues.
Chris Massey, playing just his 18th game, kicks a goal which might set Carlton on the way to victory here. A most important goal at the start of this last quarter.
He's yet slow start to the season, Chris Massey, but he is finishing on strongly, and we will have another look at that passage of play shortly.
Back in the cricket pitch area for the bounce. Everett beats Allen. It goes Carlton's way. Young for St Kilda turns it back. Hickmott knocks the ball out. Good hands, Murphy. Bradley, quite a third term after a 20-possession first half. Bradley follows up. Good hand pass. Matthew Allen playing the role of rover. 50-metre kick. Oh, well done, Hamill. The Blues on fire and starting to get results for their efforts. And a 50-metre penalty makes a certainty of it.
He's got a great vertical leap, hasn't he? Aaron Hamill can just go straight up.
Hamill's second goal of the day, and surely the Blues can't lose from here.
No, they're home, no doubt about it, but I wonder if St Kilda can throw down the challenge, because if they don't, they could just get absolutely blown out of Optus Oval here, as Craig Bradley gets another one of his possessions and sets it up with a nice handball to Matthew Allen, who's been down today in comparison to his recent form. And there's that vertical leap we talked about.
Two goals to Hamill, Fletcher and Murphy for Carlton. They've doubled the Saints score. Allen tries to win it out of the middle, so too Ratton and Brown. Brown got a hand pass, albeit a small one. He's able to pounce on it again and make sure that Begley doesn't steal it.
Hey, Fraser Brown last week only had 9 possessions against Geelong. Today he was nearly knocked out in the first minute, spent 8 minutes off the ground, and he's come back and he's now up to 23 possessions. Terrific.
Rarely puts a couple of quiet ones together. Excuse me, Spider. This is umpire Mark McKenzie. Everett goes again, and Allen. Bradley, another one. Little toe poke, and that's just to himself. The hand pass, okay. Ratton gets through heavy traffic. Brown to DiIulio. Ronnie's kick is going to be chopped off by Burke. He'd be bitterly disappointed with this performance today, Nathan Burke. Couchy, the Saints bench, speaking of them.
Tony Brown, Tim Elliott, Ben Walton and Brett Knowles.
Everett almost tripped. Wakeland tries to slap it clear. Ratton has it stolen. An opportunity for Zilla. Sexton a fine spoil, and then he pulls it back in. Wakeland is right there with him. That's Darryl Wakeland.
And the stats on the back line, Sandy, I think have been outstanding for the Blues today. Manton had 12, Rice 15, Michael Sexton 17, McKay is 17 and Silvani 15. All outstanding, but on the bench, Couchy.
Murray Vance, Matthew Lappin, Scott Campriali and Brad Pearce.
Wakeland to Burke. St Kilda inside 50 once again. Almost the mark. Well, it's not going to be paid. It doesn't matter because Manton sneaks clear, pokes it out to Allen. Got one on the back of the head, but it didn't stop him taking the mark. Off he goes to Brown. Everett aggressive at him, but he's able to get it off to Massey. Massey into Whitnell. Can't pick it up initially on the half volley. He goes again and sneaks it out to McKay. Runs out of room eventually, and we've got to throw in.
The Blues are a different unit when Michael Sexton is playing well. All of a sudden, their back line that was together in the 95 premiership year is back together and firing. Sexton's been absent, well, his best form's been absent for almost 24 months.
From the boundary throw in, that's not going too far. And eventually we'll have a ball up. Interesting that Walton and Knowles are on the bench for the Saints. Only 4 of their players are into double figures for kicks, and Walton and Knowles are 2 of those. Knowles 17 possessions, Walton 15, and these youngsters sitting on the bench. A lot of stars are still getting games. Stephen Zilla couldn't get a kick in a stampede. He's had 5 touches for the day. McKay, Thompson, Jones, another star, and look what Ozzy does with it, straight out of bounds on the full. So just the point I'm making is the kids aren't getting much of a crack.
Fraser Brown let him know he kicked it out of bounds in the full.
So Bradley will take the free kick from centre wing.
Manton, good running.
Great running up from defence.
Kick.
By Manton. 25-metre hand pass wide to Brown.
Oops.
A little sneaky one to Fletcher, who went without it. Burke's got it for the Saints to Young to Thompson. And the Saints will get out of it. Although it's not a great kick by Thompson. A lot of height, not much distance. Low can't mark. Mitchell. Shane Wakeland. Begley. Nathan Burke. His kick to centre half forward. Heatley. That's what he does very well, but he's with a great player, Stephen Silvani. Sauce has got it. Back to Bradley, another great player. Off the ground to Fletcher. Young Fletch, down he goes. Well, Mitchell gave it up. Straight to Sexton, and now the Blues in control again.
Geez, and Massey's having a big second half.
Yeah.
But that Glenn Manton handball to Fraser Brown was symbolic of some of their problems. The Blues, he could have just gone long to the square from 60 metres out.
Goes to within scoring range. Beveridge takes the defensive hand pass, gives it back to Hall. Barry's kick is wide. The mark is taken by Begley. But he's almost in the back pocket. Goes to Spider, down on half-back. St Kilda will be bitterly disappointed with this. The young hand pass sitting okay for McLaren as he runs through the middle. Steaming in towards Stuart Lowe and co. Murphy reads it well. Bradley, just a deft little hand pass to Silvani. Coming away with absolute ease to Hickmott. Wide at a centre wing. Beaumont will have time to fall down and pick himself up again. Although McLaren gets him eventually, not before he gets a hand pass away. They are making a bit of a meal of it. They are making one heck of a meal of it in the end. How many possessions there? Half a dozen?
I think we'll put them down as possessions.
Throw in on the outer side. 14.5 minutes left. That will decide the fate of St Kilda's season. Hayes trying to push it forward. Zilla, well, he's had a day he'd like to forget, but he's going to get one here for a tackle too high. Very, very quiet. Into Beveridge in the middle. Forward of there, he chips to half forward. Fraction too high for Wheatley. Heatley's got a chance to go again. Gives it off to Nathan Burke, and the skipper will kick a goal. Nathan Burke gets his first for the day. And maybe it's just something that can fire up the Saints.
Yeah, well, they need the bomb at the moment, Sandy, because they are being outclassed at the moment by a side that looks just to be far more in control of their game. And Nathan Burke once again trying to fire up his Saints.
Back in the centre for the two ruckmen to go at each other. Everett and Allen. Bounce favours Allen. Comes to Brown. Kicked by Brown off the left. Kicks the back of the ball so it bounces on. Oh, nice old clash. Begley. But he's lost control of it. Oh, Ratton's been fantastic. Here's Whitnell. Kicks straight to full forward. And they saved on about 12 possessions then. And they're going to get the full forward shooting for goal.
Aslan Ratton had a big game.
Yeah, back to his best.
Well, Ratton, 7 kicks, 17 handballs, and he has laid 7 tackles, which would nearly be a season high for an individual. That's up there. Phenomenal. Lance Whitnell for goal. 45 metres out. Home you go.
Well, you wouldn't believe it, but they're just 3 points off doubling, 6 points off doubling the St Kilda score. The Saints have looked competitive, not that time with Aussie and his teammate colliding with each other. And Brett Ratton, who's just a sheer professional, just mops up and said, well, you guys, whilst you're on the ground, I'll just clean up and go bang down to Lance Whitnell.
So Tim Watson is now looking at a scoreline of 9 wins and 12 losses for the season. His first season, a learning season, but I'm sure he would have been chasing a little more than he's going to get. Out of the middle, Begley and Mackay. Nelson slung to the ground by Beveridge, and we've got another ball up. I'm sure the expectations were very high, as would be only natural at the start of a year, especially considering St Kilda's recent years and performances. Everett slaps it down, taken by Nelson. It's a high left foot kick just inside 50. Waitland gave a shove and then went for a roundhouse right that missed, and so Hamill's going to have a shot.
This could be very ugly in the last 12 minutes or so.
Well, at the start of the year, Andrew Clinton went on the record as saying the top 4 finish would be acceptable, and only that. And the midway through the season, I know I invested on the Saints as a premiership chance. You wouldn't believe it's the same side.
Well, they were 3rd on the ladder after 10 rounds.
Yeah. Hamill then from 52 metres. Away to the right. Everett unable to take the mark, and Massey's bundled to the ground by Nathan Burke. Everett beaten by Allen. Jones. Here's Nelson. Almost there. Hayes on the last line. Lenny's in trouble. Now he sneaks away. Looks towards centre wing. Goes wide and long, but there's no one home. Aaron Hamill alone. He could come into Manton, and in fact uses Glenn Manton. Ships in towards the 50. The Blues doing it on the bit now and really threatening. Nelson, round he goes, long in towards full forward, but again blazing away, perhaps hoping for a little more distance. Betty Hall defends.
Well, you got Hall and Everett in the last line, and Darryl Wakeland's drifted up. He's the only St Kilda player forward of the centre circle. And he's kicked 1 goal for the season. And here's his opponent Sexton getting in front of him. But the Saints have it now. Mitchell back to Thompson. Nobody in the forward 50 for the Saints. Silvani says, I've never had an easier mark in all my career.
Well, his opponent just came to the bench, Drew, with Stewie Lowe. Tim Elliott now onto the ground, but he's had a great game.
Yeah. And the kick up towards half forward. Hickmott balls from behind and lays a tackle. Shane Wakeland gets it towards the line. and St Kilda can't hear the sirens soon enough.
Justin Murphy off, and Matthew Lappin on.
He's got the thigh strap. Couchy, was it the hamstring or perhaps the quadricep?
It's a quadricep corky, Jared.
So he should be fine for next week.
I'd say so.
Ball bounces on towards the 50 but goes out of bounds. The Blues play Richmond in the last home and away round at the MCG next Friday night. And Jeff Geeshan, the Tigers coach, is watching on here today.
And he'd be hoping for a far better performance than his side gave him last night. As we have a look at the crowd here today, 24,185. Perhaps a little disappointing considering St Kilda is fighting for a final spot and Carlton is already there.
I think very disappointing. They haven't played their matches at Optus Oval all that much over the last 3 or 4 years. And I would have thought this game would have them bursting at the seams.
Here's Brown. Poked it out in front of Lappin, but it was Massey who intercepted. It's been very good. Hickmott somewhat laterally. Fletcher has kicked a couple of important goals back towards Hickmott. They're almost raffling this. It finishes with Hamill, in fact. And he thinks about Manton again. Glenn Manton shipping just over the centre. Diulio runs like a player who thinks he's on hot coals.
Ronnie's going to have a shot for goal.
He's got 50 metres. And this is a nice 52. This is going to take him to within... Oh, this will take him to within...
No, it's a double 50.
He's kicked 1 goal 3 for the season. How would you like this for your second?
I think he had 2 goes at the 50,
yeah,
Sandy.
Yeah. Aussie Jones is being brought back down here with Hayden Kennedy. And it's a fair walk for Ronnie Diulio.
Well, that's $4.50 in a cab.
Sure, Peter Carey was rubbing his hands ready for another mark.
1 goal 3. As Drew says. Oh dear. Ronnie, don't let us down.
He has.
1 goal 3 is now 1 goal 4. All that build-up. We've had Drew talking about cab fares and accuracy, and what did we get? 1 behind, 12-13 plays 7-3.
Oh, will the boys be giving it to him at training during the week over that?
The Carlton supporters enjoyed it too down here, Drew.
40 points the margin in favour of the Blues as Young kicks in. Oh, they're jumping for everything. Hamill, play on, didn't get first touch. Fires away the hand pass to Brown, running out of room. Centering kick, Massey.
Brown's one of those unique players who's naturally a right footer, but 80% of his kicks are on his left.
Kick by Massey is not too flash. He hooked it out of bounds on the full. 1 goal, 1 and 1 out of bounds, a full house. Barry Hall kicks in to Jones. Now to Beveridge. They're still behind half back. Young has been... He's made some mistakes, but he's been one of the Saints' best. Shane Wakeland, in he goes with the hand pass. Hudgston, they're running around in circles. The hand pass by Zilla. He gave it to a man under pressure, Beveridge. Somehow gets out of it. Kick goes about 3 metres, and the Blues have it. Silvani might dash up the ground and do anything here. Out to McKay, who's had a wonderful game. Kick by Andy McKay.
Is down towards half forward. Whitnell the target. Hall is there with him. He's interfered with the back of his head. And Lance is going to take a free kick. Outside 50. Centering ball. Couple of flyers here. Only 1 required. Now, Ronnie, your moment of truth has come. You missed only seconds ago. Don't worry. Brad and the boys are reminding you of it as we speak.
Double of money, the cab fare. Double of nothing.
Forget the cab fares this time, Drew.
He was trying to play on too,
He was
Jared.
looking for it. He wanted the goal line.
He wanted it from a metre out.
This is a big kick.
You're
In
back
the
him
history
home.
of Ronnie Diulio, this is a big kick. Directly in front. 25 metres out. Oh, it's a shocking kick. Ronnie. And even the goal umpire is having a bit of a smile. Couple of behinds then to Diulio. And he can smile too. The most important thing is the 4 premiership points. So that's 1 goal 5 to Ronnie for the year. Gee, the goal that he kicked must have been big. Here's Young. coming out for St Kilda. Short kick that puts a bit of pressure on Zilla, gives it away to Hall. Well, he just cruised through a couple of players there. Kicks up towards right half forward, almost a mark to Hayes. In fact, it's going to be paid.
Ronnie has actually kicked 71 goals in his career, so
71.
he does know about 71.
That's from 280 attempts.
Hayes gets underneath the drop punt. High. Elliott was taken out of it. Whitnell is down there, and he has taken the mark.
7.5 minutes remaining here. 91-45 in favour of the Blues. And they're embarrassing the Saints at the moment. Rice, a former Saint player. Ratton, just steering it to Brown. Ratton, Brown, how often have we said this over the years?
He'll do left foot, right foot for the first time today.
Back to Brett Ratton. Pops it over the top. Oh, this is disgraceful by the Saints. And Massey has it again just outside the 50. Centering ball. Where's Ronnie? The crowd are calling for him. Up goes Hamill. Can't take the mark. Knowles clears out of defence for the Saints. Close to the boundary line. And Massey, he's had a big day, Chris Massey. That's now 9 marks, and he's coming up for his 24th disposal. Centres the ball. Whitnell! Here's Ronnie again. And the crowd definitely...
Go away, Ronnie!
Go, Ronnie! Oh, no. Nathan Burke's back there. Listen to the mob.
Colt following here at Optus Oval. Aussie Jones runs it out of defence. Hall running with him. Jones looks in towards the middle. The look-away hand pass to Beveridge. And they try and set something up. Back to Jones. He's come a long way down. So too has Young. In trouble. Tried to go back to Jones, and that's the story of their day.
It's going to be a long trip to Western Australia next week.
Yeah.
I want to see Ronnie play full forward for the next week.
Well, if anything, the Saints have had the breeze in this last quarter, and they've had 1 scoring shot for a goal.
Haven't looked like it.
Everett wins it. Beveridge to half forward. Sexton's been outstanding. Playing in front. That's an interesting little talk. Fletcher to Brown. Finding Beaumont. Spent it a little early, but it's okay. It'll come back to Brown. Probably a little tired now is Fraser. He's had a big day. 21 kicks and 11 hand passes for 32 possessions. He's back in town in a big way.
Well, especially after 1 minute, we thought he was gone for the day.
Yep. Copped a heavy one very early on. Thompson through some heavy traffic for St Kilda. Down to half forward. Elliott had to beat a couple, and Glenn Manton just required the one hand. Then he gave it away to Silvani. Here he is, the man of the moment. Listen to the crowd firing up Ronnie DiIulio. Too far out to score, so he gives it to Bradley. Bradley goes in towards the middle, and he's got McKay.
Ronnie should have run off. He'd have got it back from Battles.
He's only 200 metres out. In towards Hamill, who takes the mark. And this is an embarrassing time for St Kilda at the moment, because they are being toyed with by Carlton.
It's the same St Kilda side that in round 8 beat Essendon quite comfortably. In round 4 beat the Western Bulldogs in a real nail-biter at the Western Oval. And I guess, well, they went down to North Melbourne by just a couple of points, but certainly they showed their credibility as a top side in that round.
Hamill from 45 metres. Fine kick. That's just about it for a good day's work. 3 goals to Aaron Hamill. Has not missed a game this year. And the Blues starting to pour it on.
And Aaron Hamill's been a good player for the Blues today, as has Craig Bradley. It'd be tough to give votes. There's been about 6 blokes all in that best on ground ratio. And McKay's been one of them. Ratton's been another. They've had a half their well, the whole back line's been sensational, in particular Sexton and Silvani.
Four and a half minutes to go, and the Blues go on their merry way. The Saints came into this match 1 game and 7% behind the Swans out of the 8, and this will finish them for the year. Brown up towards the 50. Massey again.
Mark's being paid.
Yep, no advantage from the mark. It's got to come back to Chris Massey.
He's loving this.
Oh, it's the best game I've seen him play by an absolute stroke.
That's a triple-double he's got. double figures in marks, kicks and handballs. Massey up towards full forward. Oh. Well, Lappin, he took the highest mark nearly of the year in round 1. So in round 21, he takes a low one, but close to goal. And I think he missed that shot, didn't he, in round 1? He was a metre out and missed it.
And he lined up for the Saints last year. Matthew Lappin spent all of his career there before the trade over summer.
Right in front, 35 out, a goal.
The Blues know that they'll be playing finals in 1999.
Well, David Parkin did describe them as a B-grade side, probably just after the Essendon loss. This was a win, but there's probably still B-grade.
Well, it was it's an A-grade win, and not against an A-grade side, though. I think that's fair to say, and I think Tim Watson would echo those sentiments. They did look very B-grade. In fact, that was probably wrapping them up against the Bombers. But since that time, they've had a fantastic couple of weeks. If you take out the Geelong loss of last week, this Carlton side has been quite outstanding since the Essendon loss.
Yep. 10 players have now kicked goals for Carlton. Fraser Brown's just going berserk. Gives it away, and here's Whitnell. Toying with them. Whitnell a long way from home, but if he pumps one up, who knows what could happen. Even though he's into what appears to be a slight breeze. It's a big kick. It's going across the face. A big fly from Lappin again, trying to emulate that big one. Saw him finish up kicking it behind. We'll have another look at it. From the throw-in, Burke, a hurried kick. Pearce can't get away from Hutchton. Another throw.
It is going to be interesting to see who comes up with the Cadbury's mark of the year, because essentially it's going to be a Brett Burton segment. And yet Matthew Lappin has taken one that was just an absolute ripper.
Beaumont couldn't pluck it out of the air. Beveridge couldn't take it. Over the top, Thompson. Trying to chop his way through was Aussie Jones, but he gets caught.
Who is the bloke wearing number 5 for St Kilda? It's not the same fella as 2 years ago.
Amazing thing, confidence, isn't it?
Well, in the grand final, he was close to the Saints' best player. And it was on the end of a season that was exciting, exhilarating, and a star was born that day. A fellow who produced a season the equivalent of a Flowers' early years or a Keith Gregg's early years.
Here's Brown. Distance will be a factor here as Everett just slides across the front of the pack and puts it through from behind.
Beveridge behind half-back. Nathan Burke, skipper, runs past him for the hand pass. Didn't go that way. Carlton more than double St Kilda's score. Beveridge nearly cornered by Massey on the mark. Into midfield. Rice gets a hand to it. Diulio with a hand pass. Ronnie wants to run off and get one back. Here he comes. He gets it from Brown. Can he get a goal from near centre wing? Listen to the crowd for Ronnie. Cult figure, Ronnie Diulio. Away to Sexton. Sexton up towards an unmarked player at half forward, Fletcher. Fletcher from 50.5 metres. Wobbles it to the line. Whitnell, almost. Almost.
Had plenty on it.
Yeah. And the ton's up. Carlton 100, St Kilda 45. A few centuries at this ground. Keith Stackpole in his time would have made a few for the Blues here.
Young.
Craig Bradley may have made a couple himself.
Yeah. Dino probably got the odd one.
He would have got a few.
Walton.
Would Cole Kinnear, the assistant coach at, or the football manager at Carlton, have got one, or did he just stand behind the wickets?
I think he was a stumper. I don't know whether he made all that many tons.
Kept telling me he did.
Oh.
Thompson. To left half forward. Carlton with the numbers. Manton and Silvani. It's the latter who gives it to Allen, off to Rice. Here they go again, in the words of the great Peter McKenna. Brown looks towards half forward. Some open space, and Aussie Jones brings it back to Waitland, who marks on the defensive 50. This is Shane Wakeland. Caught from behind and brought to ground. Rice, a little too slow, held it for a long time. Wanted Hamill, but should have gone earlier. Hamill tidies up. Sexton gives it away quickly. They go in towards the half-forward line. That was Vance, who's on the ground. Still inside 50. Out the back it comes. Here's a chance. Lappin should goal. He does. Lappin gets his second, both in this term. 15-16 plays 7-3.
Well, another one who has had a big day is Dean Rice, and he's getting very much now in that veteran class, but he has continued to improve. He's run foul of the tribunal a couple of times this season, and also had a couple of injury problems, but he's producing games now.
Well, the crowd stamping their feet and chanting Carlton. 15-16 to 7-3. They've nearly got up to match their behinds with goals. Thompson has it for the Saints to Burke. Burke deep inside the 50, and Lance Whitnell back in defence to take a mark. Beaumont near centre wing. 25 seconds left. Can they get another one, the Blues? The crowd calling for it. They want Ronnie DiIulio to get it. Manton to McKay. McKay's kick deep inside 50. Here comes Pearce. Gets to the back of the pack. Hodgson did pretty well. Zilla across the ground, and that'll do you, the Blues. You won't get any more. Young has it for the Saints. Up towards centre wing for Elliott. And the siren ends a nightmare for St Kilda. Their finals chances buried. And the Blues looking good for September.
And they take a lot of confidence coming out of this game as they do look towards September, because their defence is back in business, led admirably by Andy McKay. Matthew Allen competed well all day, but wasn't the best on ground that we've come to expect from him in recent times. And Simon Fletcher, along with Chris Massey, will be, as much as anything, the positives taken out of this by the Blues, because they need some young kids coming through, and they certainly look of the quality and class that's required.
27 points was the margin at three-quarter time. The final margin, 61 points. Big winners, the Carlton Football Club, and now Kilda gather and ponder what may have been. There's Ronnie DiIulio, cult figure extraordinaire and behind scorer. Great effort though by Carlton. Let's go down to the ground. Couchy.
It's Scotty, how's your ankle?
Yes, no, not too good at the moment. I have to go and get it checked by the doc, but...
Congratulations on your 100th game. Now, probably David Parkin's stress is a good start for the game.
Yeah, we did. We got off to a slow start last week, and, you know, we're pretty focused today to come out and have a win just to guarantee ourselves a spot, you know, in a couple of weeks' time.
Now, it wasn't probably one of the best games, a bit overused to the handball. Can you fix it up before the finals?
Oh, I think we can. It's just one of those things that we've got to try and get out of our game. You go a little bit more direct, and, you know, we can play some good footy.
Now, your back line, Sexton back in form, Silvani sensational.
Yeah, those guys are great all day. Hickmon as well. I mean, they've been solid for us all year, and it's great to see Chris Massey as well. A couple of young guys stand up as well today.
Good on you, Scott. Congratulations.
Yes, let's hope Scott Camberelli is going to be okay as Paul Couch waves to his fans.
Just getting ready for his election win.
Well, last game at home for the Blues here this year. So they're farewelling the fans here at Optus Oval.
Craig Bradley continues to run. The skipper, he's certainly not doing any more weights than he did in his earlier day, but he's carrying a pretty hefty responsibility here, and along with Fraser Brown and Matthew Allen in the middle of the ground, did dominate this match. Brett Ratton also was a star today for the Blues. The Cats took him out of the match last week with Liam Pickering. They were pretty ordinary last week, but Ratton fired, and so did the Blues.
Yes, for some inexplicable reason, it was a sluggish start. But they say thank you to their fans for the year. There's Silvani. He's been absolutely fantastic. The fullback of the century, that he can play at either end of the ground, and now he prepares for yet another finals campaign.
And he has moved up to become one of the best centre halfbacks in the business this year.
There is the final scoreline here at Optus Oval. Carlton, impressive winners, 15-16 at 106. St Kilda, 7-3, 45.